Good morning and welcome everyone. Thank you for taking the time to be here. We're going to do a school spotlight on Riverview High School. My name is Greg Mendez. I am the principal of Riverview High School. I have finished my fifth year at Riverview, going into my sixth year next school year. So first, I want to say thank you to our staff at Riverview. They do a tremendous job, and I want to give them all the credit for the amazing work that you're going to see throughout this school spotlight. A quick overview of the agenda. We will cover who we are, what our teams look like, how we deepen and personalize the learning, the specializations that we have on our campus, what a day in the life of a student looks like here at Riverview, as far as where we're headed next school year. So the first thing is, who are we? And this will provide some context for what you're going to hear moving forward this morning. We are an alternative school program in the Mesa Public School District. We run about 90 to 120 kids. It can fluctuate anywhere from 50 up to 120, 130 on the high end in a given school day, depending on what time of year it is and how students are set to us. So what we do is we serve grade students 7 through 12 who have been removed from the comprehensive campus for disciplinary reasons. Students are sent to us by a district hearing officer. They're sent for 1 semester, 2 months, a full year, multiple years, whatever is deemed necessary by the school district. And once they're done with their time with us and they've met their exit criteria, they transition back to their referring school. We call it a home school. We get new students every week. So our teachers are very adept at having a new student pop in every Monday, every Wednesday. Their class never looks the same week to week. We run a team model at Riverview. So we've got 11 teachers. We've got a school counselor, an SEL interventionist. We've got some community partnerships, and we've got the Mary Lou Fulton Teachers Candidate Residents on our campus. Our vision at our school is to inspire change one student at a time. We do that by cultivating self-worth and individual growth in our kids. This is something that we want to be able to do. We focus on the individual. There is no prescriptive measure on what we consider growth. It is really catered towards every single student that walks onto our campus. It starts with our mindset. I'm going to read a quote here from Abraham Lincoln. The dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present. The occasion is piled high with difficulty, and we must rise with the occasion. As our case is new, so we must think anew and act anew. And the reason that's our mindset is because K-12 is changing. The world is changing. Education is changing. We need to attack it differently, and we need to make sure we can help all of our students out. So with that, context is everything. Who you're working with, where you're working, really plays a big role into our mindset every single day on our campus. So that gives you a little bit about who we are, but I want to go over our team model now. So this is the framework we use to distribute the expertise on our campus. So the teams I'm going to talk about the first three: junior high, high school, and our care team. Those are the three that we have clearly defined, that we work within a structural system. And I want to also talk about how we distribute expertise across those three specific teams. So the first one is just an overall picture of our school. So we've got, that's a graphic of what our school looks like. You see a junior high team, high school team, you see kids, you see a group of teachers wrapped around, you see this counselor shared between both. We've got a social work interns that share between both. We've got teacher residents, and then we've got the leads on both ends. So that's kind of what our school looks like as far as the team model goes. The first thing I want to talk about is our junior high team. They serve grades 7 and 8 on our campus. They run 4 blocks as far as the schedule goes. They all share the same roster, so it's the same teachers with the same kids, and they've got flexibility within that schedule to work as needed. The interventions, very similar. We use PBIS, we have SEL interventions, and we've got academic interventions as needed. How our teams communicate: schedule meetings, meet as needed, all hands on deck. Everybody plays a role. Everybody wears multiple hats on these teams. They use WebEx throughout the day to communicate. And an example of that would be, it might be, so-and-so's having a rough morning, be on the lookout for this. Or, hey, counselor, can you please see so-and-so as soon as you can? So there's real-time communication going on with the kids to make sure that we meet their needs. On the academic end, they take English, social studies, math. Science we do virtual on our campus because we're short-staffed as far as the amount of teachers that we have to meet all the grade levels. We try to get them electives with drawing, with PE, and we kind of share with the high school team to meet the needs of those kind of students. But the schedules change essentially every quarter, and it depends on how many kids we have. So we may have 2 sections, and then we get to 3, and then we've got to rotate and jumble up the kids. And so our teachers are very adaptable in their grade books, with their roster, with their Canvas courses, to make sure that kids are fluid in and out of periods as needed, so that there's no disruption in the learning or in their grade and their assessment. So that's our junior high team, and kind of a quick overview of what that looks like. I'm going to shift gears to the high school team. This is our serve grades 9 through 12. Their schedule's a little bit different. They run an AM PM setup. So they've got an AM block, then they've got lunch, and then they've got a PM block. And what that block looks like is 2 teachers, 2 courses, same learning space. They get a new schedule every 9 weeks. So we try to run a quick 9-week course, and that's why kids only take 4 classes a day. We want to be able to recover credits on our campus with some of our kids because they do come in credit deficient. Our schedules fit the needs of the kids. So what I mean by that is our courses are interdisciplinary. They are multi-level. They are multi-grade. And every 9 weeks, we do rotate teachers as well. So 2 teachers that work together in the first quarter, they might have a different partner in the second quarter based on the schedule and the needs of the students. So one thing we've gotten really good at the high school level is be able to create multiple sections in the same classroom. The last team I want to discuss is our care team. This is our team that you can see wraps around our highest need kids. These would be our tier 2, our tier 3 kids. They're the newest team to the school, so we've been able to create to add more support to all of our students. It's a blend of staff. So we've got a junior high teacher, we've got high school, we've got SEL, counselor, social worker, myself. We involve Mesa Police Department, which is our SRO, as needed within this team to meet the needs of these high needs kids. These students are selected based off of, and I want to make this very important, not quantitative data. They don't reach a certain number of discipline referrals or incidents on campus. We really lean on the qualitative piece and the teacher expertise and their referrals of what they're seeing in the classroom to be proactive in helping our students out. This team meets weekly when time permits, morning, afternoon, the middle of school if needed. And then we communicate that out to the rest of the school. So a teacher will send an email out basically summarizing the meeting, saying, here's who we met about, here's what we're going to do moving forward. So there's clarity in how we're going to address each of these students' individual needs. So those are 3 teams. And we talk about distributed expertise. And I want to make this a talking point here. When we talk distributive expertise, I think one of the misconceptions around the teaching model that the Teachers College talks about, it's not a content expertise. It's not just English, a math teacher, an English teacher, a social studies teacher. When we talk distributed expertise, we're talking about the way we teach and the skill set that teacher can bring to the team and to the roster. So we've got teachers on the teams that are novice, that are experienced, that are veterans. We've got teachers that have been teaching 3 years, and we've got a teacher that's been teaching 35 or 50. I don't know what number it is, but it's pretty high. And she does a tremendous job for us. But we integrate content. That's an expertise that our teachers have learned to do, which is to really, how do we blend these contents to deeper and personalize the learning for our students? Now, we've got lead teachers that attend department meetings outside of Mesa Public Schools to better their craft, and then work with their own teams on developing their own talent. We've got a counselor, expert in their area. We've got the Mary Lou Fulton teachers residence. We've got a wide variety of expertise and teaching abilities across our students. We've got the community partnerships. We've got Everybody Matters and Southwest Behavioral Health that work with our students in real time on campus. That's another piece of expertise that is brought into that. We're not asking teachers to carry that burden and that extra role, that we'll let the expert take care of that. And the last part is really where it comes into play as far as the students' learning goes, the specialization of the teachers. And that is essentially somebody who's good with technology, somebody's an expert in Alex, somebody's an expert in PBIS, somebody's an expert in SEL, somebody's an expert in inquiry, scaffolding, working with the LLs. That's the specialization and the expertise that we want spread across our teams to make sure that every kid has access to this expert on their daily work. So what does that look like? You don't see a little student graphic there, but put a student in the middle of that circle. If I'm a student on our campus and I walk in every day, I have access to the community partner, Everybody Matters, or Southwest Behavioral Health. I've got somebody who's an expert in SEL, an expert in Alex, an expert in ELL, counselor, tech, Teachers College, PBIS, inquiry-based coach, somebody who's good at integrating academics. I've got access to all of those, and that's what we mean by a team of distributive expertise. Distribute all that expertise across all of our students. So what does that lead to? It leads to deeper and personalized learning. This is the essence of what we're trying to create here at Riverview. This is the purpose of what we do, and it ties into the portrait of a graduate, which is our North Star of Mesa Public Schools. So how do we do this? What we do is we take an interdisciplinary approach to our courses. We take inquiry and project-based learning to our students so they can create authentic work. We take a flexible scheduling approach, which I'll go over in a little bit here, that supports the students' individual needs and their learning goals. And last, we want to leverage technology to be able to personalize learning at scale. Some may be more heavy than others. It depends on what the student actually needs. So deeper learning approaches. We talk interdisciplinary and we talk inquiry. Those are the two big things we talk about on our campus. So interdisciplinary, we're talking themed. We are talking blended content. We are talking integrated coursework. On our campus, you will not see an isolated English course. You will not see an isolated social studies course. Nobody goes to English. English is embedded in everything that we do. We have shared learning space. So we have taken the liberty to knock down the walls on our portables to open up the learning space so that we've got a bigger room to work multiple classes in the same learning space. And it's flexible. Kids are free to move from room to room with teachers' permission, and those teachers will talk about that throughout the day, where those kids may go depending on the needs of their academics for the school day. When we talk inquiry, we're really talking about provocation. We're talking about thinking. We're talking about improving research skills. Distillations were on kids, being able to synthesize their information. We use software called Beagle, which I'll get into in a little bit. QPI, which is a question productivity index. Are kids good at asking questions? Can they get better at it? And then what scaffolding supports are needed to help along that research process? We provide those as well. So with all of that combined, we're able to deepen the learning for our students. So a couple of examples here. This is one of our classrooms. So this would be English and social studies, let's say. You can see world history there. But you've got a group of 4 kids. It might be hard to see the board here, but you can see group number 4. There's 4 names here. Each one of those kids has 4 questions. Those are questions they want to research and that they have looked into, and they have answers for. They've talked as a group, and now they've come together and they've taken all 4 of their questions to make a bigger question for that group. So with that, we've got collaboration, we've got communication, we've got critical thinking, we have inclusiveness. And we're able to have these kids work together to create this big question that they will go back and then work on. And through this, the great thing about it is kids are able to go a lot deeper into what they're doing. They're not taking notes. They're not filling in worksheets. They're finding primary sources. Teachers are facilitators. The kids are doing the work. The kids are doing the learning. And it's really exciting to see. And like I said, and to provide context, remember, these are kids who have been removed from their high schools because of their behavior. And so to watch them engage in this level of work is really exciting, and a big shout out to our teachers who make this happen. Deeper learning, another example. So this is, when we talk about deeper learning, we talk about authentic work. I know in our high school teams, you will not see a test with multiple choice questions. It's never going to happen. But the picture on the left, that is art. They were working on a project, a skill, through history, and I'll kind of show you how these tie in together. But how does this apply in the real world? Why do you have to learn this? Well, they took one of our walls in the cafeteria and made an entire project on it using the skills they learned in class. So they actually applied it to the real world. The next poster there in the middle with the little graph there, that is a student doing English in his math class, researching exponential functions through an inquiry process, learning about it, how it works, graph it out, have the formula, describe what he learned. The last picture there you see of the defining America with the flag there, that is a history class where students were able to use their art skills to create an infographic of what they've learned. And the connection there is that poster on it'd be my right, I don't know what it looks like on your screen, but the defining America poster would then be displayed in the cafeteria for everybody to see. So it's authentic, it's real world. The work is going to be displayed, and the kids take it a little more serious. And the thing that's exciting about that is it's 100% the students' work, and it is authentic in what they're doing. So with that, we take a flexible approach to scheduling. And so, like I said, we've got the AM PM block. The teams have autonomy of how they share students and what that looks like. They share space. They use flexible space, whatever they need. One of the biggest things I want to touch about is the co-constructing of goals. So teachers do a great job of conversing with students about what they have to learn, when it's due, what's next, what's the objective for the day, the objective for the week. And that's done because of our team model. We've always got 2 adults in the classroom. So teachers can pull kids and really sit there and talk to them and talk about, where are you at? Where are you going? How are you going to show me you know this? And they set these goals for these kids, and the kids get to work. And so it's really fun to see, and it's good to see our kids be able to take ownership of their own learning. Our courses are multiple grade levels. I've said that. So we've got ninth graders through 12th grade in the same classroom, 7th and 8th grade in the same classroom, multiple sections. So a kid could be in algebra first semester and geometry second semester in the same classroom. The specialization in our schools, kind of went on this with the advancement pathways. So, we've got varied experience. We integrate the academics. We've got PBIS experts, technology experts, just right responsibilities. Teachers they do what they're good at. We want to try to leverage their expertise and what they're doing. We do provide special education on our campus. We do provide services to our ELL students, and this is all done within the teachers collaborating with one another, and it's something that I'm proud to be a part of and humbled to be a part of. So, what does a day in the life look like for a student of ours? So, here's a basic example, very very simple version of what a day looks like. A kid would take first quarter of the year. He's going to take English and math in the same room from 8:15 to 11:15. Take lunch. In the afternoon, may have PE and credit recovery. And we're going to try to get them caught up on some credits. Get as many courses done as we can to try to get their transcripts looking a lot better than they are when they came to us. So this is what a simple thing looks like, and this is all interchangeable. We've got art, math, PE, credit recovery, English, social studies. It just depends on what the kid needs. So AM block. Let's say I'm a student. I walk into class. I'm going to research what math skills do I need in order to be an effective business owner. I'm going to work on that if I want to. If I want to start on math, I'll start on math. I'll start on Alex. But the choice is embedded. A kid can come in, work on English for through an inquiry. They can work on math. But at some point, they're going to conference with their teachers. They're going to set learning goals. They may go back to math. They may go back to some English, but they're all in the same room. And this could be a kid in English 9, English 10, English 11, algebra, geometry. They're all in the same room. It's a fascinating thing to see with all these teachers because they have a very standards-based and competency-based mindset in what they're doing. And with 20 minutes left before the class is actually over, the kid may take off and go to the social worker to make sure that they're getting their session there to talk about, anger management or motivation or depression, anxiety, whatever it may be, to help them out with a school day. So that's what the morning might look like. They'll take lunch. Then we got basketball, football, volleyball, soccer, whatever the kids can do outside or inside. We got a little cafeteria. It's pretty small. Kid can work on credit recovery if they wanted to. Organize with a teacher, counselor, myself, whatever it may be. Use that time to make sure it's valuable in what they're doing. After lunch, a student may go to the PM block and they've got credit recovery and PE, let's say. So they walk in, hey, can I lift first? I feel like lifting right now. Coach will take a small group over, 4, 5, 6 kids. They'll get over, they'll get a lift in. The other kids will work on credit recovery. They'll come back to class, they'll work, they'll set their goals with their teacher, how much they got to get done today. They get the pacing charts, they work out it together. A teacher helps targeted every single kid, every single day. And they might take a break, they go out, do some flag football. So there's a lot of back and forth in this. So they're not bogged down in one room doing the same thing. They determine their next steps at the end of the day. Let's say the kids met their goal, there's still 30 minutes left. Guess what? They get to work on what they were working on in the morning. So they get back on Beagle and start doing their schoolwork. They start to get on Alex. They get caught up and try to get ahead for the next day. So there's no rule that math has to be learned in a specific building. I haven't met a classroom that has got different walls than somewhere else where now you can learn math. It's whenever the kid needs it, they get it. And our teachers do a tremendous job at working with students in this capacity. So that's kind of what a day looks like at our school. So where are we headed? What are we doing with all this? And so the first thing we want to do is bring in that community educator piece. And this is something that is challenging. But how do we bring professionals in to be part of this learning process? We're probably going to start small. We're going to work with like the Mesa Arts Center or some other nonprofits that could come in and do some lessons with us, do some units with us, apply it to the real world, and show us what it looks like in the industry of how this learning applies. And a big goal of that is going to be sustainability. How do we bring community partners in and sustain it over the long term? That is a challenge. But one of the roadblocks we've talked about and we've got to address is the commitment to the schedule. With our schedule being so flexible, how do we bring that outside person in to fit a schedule? And that's going to be a roadblock that something we've got to discuss, we've got to figure out. But, something we're willing to do and willing to take on the challenge because it's going to help the kids out. The next thing we want to do moving forward is we want to leverage House Bill 2862, and this was passed recently. And what this does is this essentially allows seat time flexibility. This ensures schools that want to take a mastery-based approach, which is what we want to do at Riverview, and advance students forward in their learning. So when they've met their learning, they can earn the credit. This is a bill that will allow us to do that. And this can really help out our older students who are behind on credits. If we can get them caught up and they can demonstrate mastery, we can move them along faster if needed. We're going to decide what the protocols look like, who gets it, where, why, those kind of things. But this is a bill that we definitely want to leverage to personalize the learning for our students. And the last thing we want to do is, as far as our professional learning, MPS has a strategic plan, Ignited Culture of Learning. That's what we want to do with our teachers. We want to model what we want our kids to do. So this will be a gradual release. We want to start with some structured learning and eventually let the teachers take over their own professional learning. And this leads into the expertise and specialization of teachers. We want them to explore their own passions. And I want to end this essentially with saying, the greatest resource that schools have, it's not furniture. It's not cool buildings. It's not curriculum. It's the human beings that are in front of the kids. And the number one thing we do have control over is how we instruct kids. That is our greatest resource, humans and how we instruct kids. And if we do that, we can build talent density within not only, obviously here at Riverview, we want to do that, but across the organization of K-12. And the better we do that, the better chance we have of really serving all kids and making sure that every kid gets what they need. And here at Riverview, obviously, we want to meet the Mesa Public Schools promise to make sure every kid is known by name, served by strength and need, and graduates ready for college, career, and community. So with that, I want to say thank you. I hope you enjoyed our school spotlight. I look forward to answering any questions during the Q&A portion of this presentation and look forward to speaking with you. So thank you very much.